Every WWE match is carefully planned down to the last minute, but sometimes things don't go as expected, and that's when they get dangerously real. From stiff strikes to superstars losing their tempers, these moments turn scripted fights into genuine chaos. One such moment came when a single outburst nearly killed a superstar's main event push. When former WCW champion Vader debuted at the 1996 Royal Rumble and eliminated 13 other wrestlers, it was a massively successful start. Building on that momentum, Vader quickly rose as one of WWE's top heels, especially after pinning Shawn Michaels in a tag team match. This set the stage for their WWE Championship match at SummerSlam 1996. Behind the scenes, WWE officials were impressed with Vader and planned to make him a long-term rival for Michaels, with Vader originally scheduled to win the title at Survivor Series and drop it back to Michaels at Royal Rumble, but those plans fell apart when their SummerSlam match went off the rails. During the match, Vader botched a spot where Shawn was supposed to leap from the top rope, but Vader didn't move, causing Shawn to crash awkwardly. Furious, Shawn yelled at Vader mid-match and even kicked him in the head for real on live TV. His anger nearly derailed the entire match. Backstage, Shawn complained to Vince McMahon and made it clear he didn't want to work with Vader anymore. Since Shawn had major backstage influence at the time, this buried Vader's push. The title opportunity was instead given to Psycho Sid, who went on to defeat Michaels at Survivor Series 1996 inches, what was supposed to be Vader's big moment. After this, Vader lost all momentum and was never put back into the world title picture. By 1998, WWE released him altogether. A similar situation happened years later when WWE invited Jackass stars Steve-O and Chris Pontius for a comedy segment on Raw in 2006. The plan was for Umaga to squash Steve-O quickly while the fans laughed, but there was one problem: Steve-O didn't know how to sell a move, or maybe no one told him what to do. After taking Umaga's big splash, he laughed and immediately stood back up, which to Umaga was a huge sign of disrespect. Since he was booked as an unstoppable monster, Steve-O's reaction made him look foolish on live TV. This time, Umaga made sure it wasn't funny, as he unloaded real punches on Steve-O before crushing him again with a devastating Samoan splash. This time, Umaga made sure Steve-O stayed down for good. In a 2023 interview, Steve-O admitted that Umaga hit him so hard he barely remembers anything after the segment. "I remember him hitting me so hard, and then the last move we had discussed finally happened. That was supposed to be the end, but he just kept going. I didn't even realize he was still hitting me because I wasn't playing dead and I didn't know I was supposed to. Things got crazy after that, and honestly, I don't even remember leaving the ring," Steve-O confessed. Segments like these prove that WWE's world is not a place to fool around. Another example is The Undertaker vs. Giant Gonzalez, which has gone down as one of the worst matches in WrestleMania history. This forgettable match remains a rare blemish on the Deadman's otherwise legendary undefeated streak. Standing nearly 8 feet tall, Gonzalez was unlike anyone fans had ever seen before, and his terrifying size was the main reason WWE signed him. But once the bell rang, his lack of coordination and ring awareness turned the match into a nightmare, not just for the fans, but also for The Undertaker. Their 7-minute clash at WrestleMania 9 was painfully slow and universally criticized, but what many didn't know was that it also turned dangerously real. On his 2024 podcast 6 Feet Under, The Undertaker revealed just how unsafe Gonzalez was. Despite being repeatedly told to aim his clubbing blows at the shoulder blades, Gonzalez kept striking him across the neck. During a grueling double shot weekend, after yet another stiff shot to the back of his neck at Caesar's Palace, The Undertaker's frustration finally exploded. The blow left his fingers numb, and the moment the feeling returned, he snapped. "As soon as I got the feeling back in my fingers, I turned around and just started wailing on him," Taker recalled. "I hit him so fast, so many times, he couldn't even defend himself." Apart from things getting dangerously real, The Undertaker vs. Giant Gonzalez match ended in one of the strangest ways in WrestleMania history, with Gonzalez using a chloroform-soaked rag to knock out The Undertaker. But what fans didn't know was that the chaos behind the scenes was just as real, with The Undertaker literally having to fight back for real. In wrestling, punches and kicks are meant to look brutal while keeping everyone safe, but sometimes that balance completely breaks down. A perfect example came at the 2018 Royal Rumble when Brock Lesnar faced Kane and Braun Strowman in a triple threat match. While the match itself wasn't very memorable, one moment became infamous. During the action, Strowman accidentally landed a stiff running knee straight to Brock's head. Lesnar instantly fired back with a real, lightning-fast punch to Strowman's jaw, leaving him stumbling for a moment. Brock even barked at him mid-match, yelling, "Slow the F down," which was caught on camera. To Braun's credit, he absorbed the punch, regrouped, and kept going like a true professional. The moment became one of the most talked about highlights of 2018. Strowman later told TalkSport, "We laughed about it afterwards. We got to the back, I said, 'Hey, my bad.' He said the same thing, and we went about our business." Unlike many other situations on this list, Lesnar and Strowman handled the incident professionally and moved on. The truth is, injuries are an unavoidable part of professional wrestling. No matter how skilled or careful a performer may be, the physical toll of constant high-impact bumps means something will go wrong eventually. What separates the greats from the rest is how they respond when disaster strikes mid-match. Some of WWE's most legendary moments have come from superstars pushing through unimaginable pain, refusing to give up. Triple H famously finished a tag team match in 2001 after tearing his quadriceps completely off the bone. Cody Rhodes entered Hell in a Cell in 2022 with a torn pectoral muscle and still delivered one of the greatest performances of his career. Moments like these have created a culture where working through pain is seen as a badge of honor. But not every wrestler has been able or willing to push through, and that's where controversy often begins. One of the most talked about examples came during a Monday Night Raw match between Alberto Del Rio and Sin Cara. During the match, Sin Cara injured his finger while attempting a dive through the ropes. Instead of continuing, he immediately signaled the referee to stop the contest, something that infuriated Del Rio. For context, Sin Cara's WWE run was already on shaky ground by then. Despite arriving with massive hype as the next Rey Mysterio, his run was filled with botches, injuries, and inconsistency. Adding fuel to the fire, he and Del Rio never had a good relationship behind the scenes. Their tension had already surfaced when Del Rio accidentally yanked off Sin Cara's mask in a previous match, something Sin Cara believed was intentional. So, when Sin Cara refused to continue after a simple finger injury, Del Rio snapped, dragged him back into the ring, and drilled him with a stiff kick to the ribs. In later interviews, Del Rio admitted he did it on purpose, openly criticizing Sin Cara for lacking toughness. When WWE signed Ken Shamrock in 1997, they immediately branded him as the world's most dangerous man, and he quickly lived up to that reputation. He served as the special referee for the legendary Bret Hart vs. Stone Cold Steve Austin match at WrestleMania 13, a bout still considered one of the greatest of all time. Shamrock's official in-ring pay-per-view debut came shortly after at the In Your House event in 1997, where he faced Big Van Vader in a no-holds-barred match. What followed was one of the stiffest encounters of the era. Still adjusting to the world of sports entertainment, Shamrock threw strikes and submissions that looked and felt far too real. In the chaos, he broke Vader's nose in 4 places and injured his leg. Vader, known for being one of the toughest men in wrestling, was clearly shaken. Reports say he told Shamrock multiple times to lighten up, but Shamrock kept going. Eventually, Vader had enough and responded with a vicious clothesline that looked like it could knock someone out. Shamrock may have won the match, but he left with just as many battle scars as Vader. Surprisingly, the tension never carried backstage. Though frustrated, Vader never held a grudge, and the two faced each other again later. And when you talk about notorious backstage bullies in WWE, JBL's name is almost always mentioned. His run as world champion during the Ruthless Aggression era was marked by his character's arrogance, but many believe he started living the persona in real life. By the mid-2000s, JBL had